If your firm feels one good decision away from a breakthrough, then this is for you. We're hosting our first mastermind of 2026 in Phoenix on February 26th and 27th. And it's 2 days designed to actually move your firm forward and grow who you are as a leader. Day 1 is a full day of hot seats where you break into groups and work through the real problems in your business. Day 2 is our wellness workshop featuring sessions that help you boost your energy, lower stress, and think more clearly. We have Jocelyn and Aaron Freeman, host of a top 10 marriage podcast and masters in psychology, teaching relationship skills that you'll use at work and at home. A lunch and learn on habit formation with Tyson, and more. View the full event details and grab your seat at maxlawevents.com.
This is Maximum Lawyer with your host, Tyson Mutrux.
Welcome back to the Maximum Lawyer Podcast. Today's episode comes straight from MaxLawCon 2025. If you've ever felt like your marketing is working but still attracting the wrong clients, then this episode is for you. Today's episode comes from Danny Decker, founder of Spotlight Branding, who has spent more than a decade helping law firms fix their client mix, not just their lead volume. In this talk, Danny breaks down why most firms don't actually have a lead problem, they have a messaging problem. He walks through a practical framework for defining your ideal clients, crafting marketing that speaks directly to them, and filtering out cases that drain your time, energy, and team. This is Danny Decker's MaxLawCon session, 3 practical steps to attract better clients to your law firm.
All right, so I have been in this space for about 15 years working with law firms, and 15 years in marketing time is like, I always say it's like dog years, right? So I've been doing this for like 100 years, and in that period of time, we've learned a few things, right? Number one is that most law firms, even when you have a conversation and they think the number one priority is more leads, okay? Raise your hand if you've ever been in the spot where you're like, I just need more leads, okay? A lot of hands, right? What most law firms actually need, and you guys have learned this, I'm sure, is better clients, okay? You are not working with a marketing person or a marketing firm because you want more leads. You need better clients, okay? So conversation today is how to make that happen. Good news is I'm going to share a formula. It's pretty simple. It can be used no matter what your marketing looks like today, right? If you are doing your own marketing, if someone on your team is handling your marketing, if you're working with a vendor, I am going to share a formula, really simple, help you create a message that is going to make your marketing work better. All right, who's familiar with bad lead syndrome? Symptoms of bad lead syndrome include having to call leads over and over and over again, call them 5 times, 10 times before they ever pick up the phone, right? Raise your hand if you've ever experienced that. I like to go for a little audience participation here, mainly because I just want to understand, I want to know where you guys are, I want to make sure this lands. So let me ask this question too. Can I see a show of hands if you have someone else on your team, not you, who is responsible for intake? So raise your hands if somebody else is responsible for intake. And let me see your hands if you are doing your own intake. All right, cool. Okay, so for most of you, this could be your intake team, right? So symptoms of bad lead syndrome include having to call leads 5, 10 times to even get them to pick up the phone. If they do pick up the phone, they are looking for something that you don't offer. You are a divorce firm and they want estate planning. You are a criminal defense firm and they need something else, right? Not good leads for your law firm. You finally do find somebody who's a right fit. And turns out they can't afford you, right? Discouraging, right? So you burn a lot of money, you burn a lot of time, you create these landing pages, you create these ad campaigns, you drive traffic, you drive leads, and at the end of the day, they do not hire you, okay? Disappointing. You know what's even worse, though, by the way, than spending a bunch of money to drive leads that don't end up hiring you, is when you spend bunches of money, bunches of effort to drive client opportunities aren't a good fit, and they do end up hiring you, okay? That is how you blow your firm up, right? Bad leads turn into bad clients, create all sorts of operational problems, morale problems, sales problems, not a good thing, okay? Most of us have been there. Raise your hand if you've been there, right? That lead got through the system that shouldn't have and created all sorts of havoc. All right, awesome. When your leads get better, everything in your law firm gets better. And I get it. I'm a marketing guy, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I really believe that when you have a marketing system in place that drives a predictable flow of quality leads, you can solve just about every other problem in your business, right? You can dial your marketing up, you can dial your marketing down. As long as you've got the ability to create cash flow, you can solve just about every other problem in your business. So this is a really big deal. Today, I am going to share 3 pretty simple steps to make this happen. So show of hands if you want this, if you're ready to jump into this with me. Sweet, let's go. All right, number 1, you need to define what your ideal clients look like. Show of hands if you are investing something into marketing, whether that is paying a vendor, whether that is doing it yourself, whether that is somebody on your team, like every hand should be up, right? We're all investing something into marketing, okay? How many of you have a pretty good idea of what a good client looks like for your law firm? Again, show of hands. All right? Awesome. How many of you have that written down on paper? Cool. About half the room. How many of you have taken that piece of paper, made sure it's up to date, and shared it with your marketing team, whether that's a vendor, whether that's your internal team, okay? And how many of you, when you are reviewing your marketing progress, whether that's every quarter, every month, every year, pull that out and have a conversation with the people who are in charge of your marketing to make sure that they are bringing you the right types of clients? All right, 1 person, okay? So huge opportunity. Good news here is, good news for everybody that didn't raise your hands, you can make massive progress if you make this part of your normal marketing operating process, okay? You need to, on paper, define what your ideal clients look like. But here's where people go wrong with this exercise, and ask me how I know. I've done this many times. When you sit down with somebody in a conference room and have a conversation about what does your best client look like, what do your ideal clients look like, we get great answers, right? And we all love to have these conversations. These are fun conversations to have. The problem ends up, and again, ask me how I know, that the profile that we sketch up in terms of your ideal clients doesn't actually exist in the real world, right? And so we create this unicorn that we're going to build this marketing campaign and go find them, but like those people don't exist, okay? And so you put all this money into a hypothesis that just isn't real. So here's how you fix that, and here's part 1 of the homework assignment. Here's what I want you to do. I promise this will make a huge impact in your business. When you get back to the office next week, print out your client roster, the last 2-3 years, and I want you to go one by one, and I want you to highlight or circle or put a check mark next to the 10 best clients that you've worked with over the past couple of years, okay? Identify the 10 best clients. These are the people where if you could snap your fingers and clone them and bring them back over and over and over again, you would be really, really happy. These are your client avatars, and this is reality-based, right? Because these are people that you've actually worked with. You know they exist. You know they're not a unicorn. You just need to now build a message that's going to go pull them in, okay? So that's part 1. Then do the opposite as well. So run down that list, and I want you to take out your red highlighter or your big X, right, and mark the 10 worst clients that you've worked with over the past few years, okay? And then what I want you to do with both sets of clients is sit down and look at the patterns, okay? What do your top 10 best clients have in common? Sometimes it's going to be obvious things, right? Like maybe they live in a certain zip code. They have kids, they don't have kids. They own a house, they rent a house. Other times it's less obvious connections, right? But what are the connections that your ideal clients have in common? And then what makes up the not great clients, right? The folks that you do not want to attract. I always tell people marketing has 2 jobs. It's to bring the right types of clients to your law firm. What's the second job? Anyone just throw it out there? Keep the bad ones away, okay? Bring the right clients to your law firm, keep the bad ones away. You gotta have this on paper in order to make it happen. All right, so you've identified what your top clients look like. Awesome. Step 2, your messaging needs to be all about them, okay? Not you, not us. Let's talk about a few things that your clients probably don't care about. Probably don't care about where you went to law school, okay? They probably don't care about what your GPA was, right? They probably don't even care about the years of experience, the awards you won. Like, that's not what they are thinking about when they are trying to determine who to hire. It's not what they're thinking about. Here's what they definitely aren't thinking about. They are not thinking about how the sausage gets made. They do not care about how the sausage gets made. A lot of lawyers, because you guys are really well trained in this stuff and you're really smart, you want to talk about how the sausage gets made. It's not what they're interested in. It actually scares them. Let me tell you about the handyman that every time he comes to our house, I have to hide. And here's the deal. I'm not a handy person. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay admitting that. I'm not good at building things. It's not my strength. Fortunately, my wife is really good at that. She loves building things, doing home improvement projects, all that stuff. She does that. I don't. I'm fine with that. It's 2025. Got no problems admitting that. But every once in a while, like, there's a project that she doesn't want to do. And so we have this handyman, like, twice a year he comes to our house. We've got, like, this long list of projects. This guy's, like, a super nice guy. Okay, he's former military. He teaches, like, a woodworking class for like 10-year-olds. Just a great guy, really good communicator. But, like, every time he's at our house doing a project, and I'm not doing it, I'm paying him to do it, it's like he feels bad for me. He's like, man, I feel like you want to be doing this, but you're hiring me because you don't know how, and he just feels bad for me. He literally invites me. He's like, hey, man, if you want to come with me on my next job, I'll show you how to do this. And I'm like, dude, like, with all due respect, like, I'm paying you to do it. Like, I want the TV on the wall, and, like, I don't want to see the wiring. And that's the extent of my involvement here. And it's like, again, great person, great heart, but, like, I don't care. I don't care how the sausage gets made. I just want him to do it, and frankly, I don't even want to have a conversation about it, okay? So, but listen, that is a trap that we all fall into, okay? We all think that the people we work with want to know all of the details, and that by telling them, we show off how smart we are, okay? It's just not how it works. There is a book, Storybrand. Show of hands if you read Storybrand, Donald Miller. Okay. If you haven't, highly recommend you check it out. It is a really smart framework to sort of rethink your messaging, but here's the big idea. One, the human mind absorbs information best when it is presented in story format, right? For thousands of years, that's just how we're wired. Every story has some basic elements. You've got a hero. The hero wants to go somewhere or wants to do something. There's a problem that's keeping him from getting there. And then there is a guide that helps the hero solve the problem, accomplish his mission. Okay? Think Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, right? And Obi-Wan Kenobi is the guide. As a law firm, where do you think you fit in this framework? The guide, right? And that's the big concept of Storybrand, is that your customer, your client is the hero, you're the guide, okay? Your job is to, and the number one job of your marketing is to position you and your firm as the guide that can help your law firm, your clients get to where they want to be, okay? That's the job. You're not the hero of your marketing. Your client needs to be the hero of your marketing. And you have to understand, they are facing something pretty significant in their life, right? Anytime someone hires a law firm, for most people, and it's not normal for you guys because this is your world, but most people, hiring a lawyer is intimidating. It's something most people don't do very often. It's a big investment, and it's usually around something that's pretty significant in their life. And so when you figure out how to, let me put it this way, if you want to be persuasive with your messaging and pull in the right types of clients, you need to understand what motivates them. You need to understand what they care about. Again, it's not law school, it's not your years of experience, it's how are you going to help them have a better life. Here's the best way to do it. Super low technology. Remember that list of 10 ideal clients that I just asked you to make as part of your homework? Part 2 of the homework, when you get back to the office, have a conversation with them. That's it. That's the assignment. Have a conversation. Email them and say, hey, I really enjoyed working with you. Thank you so much for your business over the years. Can I ask you a favor? We want to figure out how to attract more people like you because we really love working with you. Would you mind spending 15 minutes with me on the phone next week? I would just love to ask you some questions. And by the way, I'm not going to bill you for the call. They're going to say yes. You're going to get 8 of the 10 are going to say yes. And then you're just going to have a conversation. I loved Jim Hacking's framework yesterday where he said you have to ask why 5 times. Because the conversation goes something like this. Think back to when you were deciding to hire a law firm. What was going on in your life? What was motivating you? What drove your decision, right? And then you keep asking why. And eventually what you uncover is the surface problem is never really the problem that's driving them to move forwards, right? It's not, hey, I know I need to have an estate plan. It's, man, I feel guilty and I lie awake at night wondering what happens if I pass away, right? All my friends have estate plans for their kids. I don't have one yet, right? Those are the types of things you unearth. So, yeah, if you want, we put together a questionnaire, scan the QR code, or you can just email me. I'll share my email at the end. But simple interview script. The idea is call your clients, ask them what motivates them, what they care about, what their priorities are when they're looking for a law firm. Again, these are the types of clients you want to attract to your law firm. This information, very important, okay? So that's step 2. Step 3, this is the easy part, okay? Now that you know who your best clients are and you know what motivates them, marketing's pretty easy. You just need to advertise where they're hanging out, okay? And best way to do that, figure that out, is ask them. Right? That's one of the questions. What social media sites do you spend your time on? What podcasts do you listen to? Do you subscribe to the local newspaper? Right? You just need to have an idea where your best clients hang out, and that's where you market. It's really not that complicated. There's 3 M's that go into every successful marketing campaign. It's the market, like who is your ideal client? It's the message. What are you going to say to persuade them to take action? And then it's the media, which is just what channel do you want to reach them through. Networking is a marketing channel. Word of mouth is a marketing channel. Facebook ads, SEO, all marketing channels. You just need to be advertising in the spots where your best clients are hanging out. All right, going to give you a tactical step here. Okay, this is one of the biggest opportunities for a lot of law firms, right? When it comes to advertising, right? So you figured out where your best clients are. Maybe, let's say you decided that you can get really good clients from Google, all right? I want you to move upstream every opportunity that you get. Here's what I mean by that. Most law firms, when they are advertising, they're all hanging out in the same spot on the river, right? The point where the fish are super, super hungry, okay? This is, think about your buyer's journey, right? There's always a process for a potential client where they become interested in your service, they start doing some research, maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it's a few months, maybe it's a few years. Eventually they get to the point where they're ready to move forward. They go on Google and they search for personal injury attorney, right? Problem is everybody else is advertising there too. So what you want to do is move upstream, get to them before everybody else is going after them. We use something called lead magnets. I know there was some conversation about this yesterday. Raise your hand if you know what a lead magnet is. Right? It's just some free value that you're giving away in exchange for somebody's contact information, right? We see this work really well in divorce, for example. Rather than spending your entire Google Ads budget on a divorce search where it's going to be really expensive and you're going to have a lot of competition, we've used a lead magnet. This one in particular works really well. 8 steps to prepare for divorce. Instead of advertising it on Google, where your cost per click is really high, run a Facebook ad campaign. You can get leads like $8 per lead using lead magnets that way. So move upstream. All right, last point here, right? Remember, this is all about how to attract better clients to your law firm. Please do not lose sight of the fact your best clients are always going to come from referrals. They're always going to come from referrals. Referral marketing, digital marketing are not 2 different things, okay? Smart digital marketing helps you get more referrals. We see it in the data. Referrals close about 65% of the time. Other lead channels, more like 28 to 30% of the time. You want more clients, you want the right type of clients, use smart referral marketing. I think it was Charlie Mann yesterday had a 3-step system to drive more referrals. Awesome, really, really good. Only thing I would add to it is you can also do some simple, low-cost advertising called retargeting, right? So you take that list that you're emailing, you also push your social media content so they're seeing your stuff every time they log on to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. So bottom line, your best clients are always going to come from referrals. Don't neglect it. Take referral marketing seriously. Your digital marketing can help you do that. So, all right. It looks like I am about out of time. The timer's actually not working, but I think I'm at 20 minutes. So, listen, thank you guys. Bottom line, if you can figure out how to attract not just more leads, but better leads, it's going to fix everything in your marketing. It's going to make your marketing work better. It's going to make your sales easier, and it's going to make your law firm more enjoyable to own. So I hope this helps. If you guys have questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. It's DannySpotlightBranding.com. If you were not able to scan those QR codes and you want those resources, just shoot me an email. I will have my team send them over to you. And that's all I got. Thank you guys so much.
Before you go, quick shout out to Becca's List. If you've ever hired a vendor for your law firm and immediately thought, yeah, that wasn't it, this exists for you. Becca's List is a curated list of companies that work with law firm owners. No paid placements, no random recommendations, just real reviews from law firm owners who have already learned the hard way. If you want to see what's working for other firms and help us grow Becca's List to the largest place for law firms to find trusted answers, head to beccaslist.co and leave your first review today.